Hey guys, what's up? It's Trevor, CEO founder of ShyftOff. A couple weeks ago, I asked you guys on LinkedIn if you'd like to hear my thoughts on how to reduce costs in your contact center without affecting the customer experience, or at least adversely affecting it. Got a lot of great response. I think this is top of mind for a lot of people lately. As I started to write the article, unfortunately, the headline that I opened in Wall Street Journal was US inflation reaches a new 4-decade high in June, or at least that was the estimate from economists at the time. And I couldn't imagine a more apropos headline to read as I'm setting out to write what I'm ultimately calling a guide to contact center cost reductions. This isn't a sales pitch for ShyftOff. This is a real guide that is taking in a lot of experience that I've had over the years. Before I started ShyftOff, I was doing finance, analytics, and contact center operations. So I've always been in the middle of operating a contact center and being the finance person as well. So a lot of times cost reductions would be on my shoulders or my team's shoulders, or maybe there was an acquisition where we had to merge teams and find efficiencies. Typically, the contact center budget stands out. It's a lot of people. Don't be shocked when your CFO looks really closely at the expenses that you've projected through the end of the year and next year. So you're going to be, as a contact center leader, you might be under some pressure in the next few months, maybe now, to cut costs, but you need to be careful. You don't want to cut too deep. This, after all, your contact center is a core function of your business. It drives customer acquisition, drives customer retention, and if you cut too deep here, it's going to affect the business's success long term. So a piece of advice I have is be ready to have that conversation with your executive team, your CFO, but also participate in cost reductions. You don't want to be the guy in the room or girl in the room that's just constantly pushing back on areas where the business needs to save. But I think it is fair to say, look, here are the trade-offs and here's what's going to happen if we cut too deep. But I would suggest making it a priority and do your best not to cut too deep, even if you're pressured. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the guide that we put together. It's not a totally strategic guide. We are very strategic. We're looking at what's going to have the highest impact. How do we actually achieve cost savings without impacting customer experience? But it's very tactical. And I think that as you head into contact center cost reductions, you need to be strategic, but tactical. When I think of strategic, I think what's going to have the highest impact. And I also think that looking at new products and services are secondary to real tactical execution. So we're not going to focus on new and innovative softwares and AI and all these things, although these are really, really powerful. What we're talking about is more immediate. You need to execute quickly. And a lot of these are multi-year initiatives. So if you try to do that now, you're probably going to miss the mark with your executive team on cost reductions. So it is strategic, but tactical. It's free. We're just giving this away. We hope that we can help in some ways. I also have a few options in there. If you want to contact me, my email is in there. If you have questions or suggestions or thoughts, think of this as a living document also. We're not, I'm not putting this out saying this is the only way you can do things, but it's my thoughts on how to approach this problem.